I'm Zoe Wiliams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss a woman's ass. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn!
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you rate women so well?
Zoe Wiliams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason. Ladies and gentlemen, Zoe Wiliams, the voice of reason, has returned to HotButton-Radio with John. John is the homie. I mean, but I told you, he's my friend. So when you make people who work with you your friend, they get sloppy.
I got that intro, though.
2 minutes after.
Took a minute to download.
It should have already been downloaded.
I found out I was doing the show like 3 seconds ago. I just
Are
finished
you a
another-
professional or no?
Yeah, I rushed down here from all the way
If somebody
upstairs.
says, Zoe, you need to do a show in 3 minutes, I'm ready.
Yeah, but you don't have to do the technical side. You're the talent.
Hey, talent is ready.
Okay. Fair.
And you're telling me as a technician you're not talented. Okay, cool. All right. Hey, welcome back to the Voice of Reason. Zoe Wiliams is in the building. We have an incredible show today. And it was prompted by a lot of things, so we got to get into it. But before we get into it, I got a couple of things to promote. Number one is my app. Frank, did I send you a picture of the app? Okay. So when we edit this video, you'll see the picture of the app. It's available on, what is that? Google Play? Is it called Google? It's on Google Play and the iStore. Yeah. Zoe Wiliams is the name of the app. No spaces. ZOWILLIAMS. Zoe Wiliams, the app. In the app is freaking everything. You remember the podcast situation we still have to tackle? It only has like 2 episodes of all of the shows that we've done. But those 2 episodes are in the app now. Podcast style. So I'm like, so the app has a podcast. It has all the YouTube videos. You can purchase my book. Jesus Christ, I forgot my book. The Relationship Dismount. You can put a picture up, right? How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. Great book, I think. I mean, I wrote it. I mean, other people think it's great too. So, should go get it. It's available on the iBook platform as well as Kindle. But if you want a physical copy, if you're a page turner like I am, just go to my website. IamZoeWilliams.com. One last piece of information here. You already know what we do here. You're going to have to go to, because a lot of people get confused. They don't know how to get to HotButton-Radio. It's real simple. If you go to your computer and you type in -radio.com, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see HotButton-Radio at the very bottom of the page. Click on that at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be here live, probably 2 minutes after if John is the engineer.
Veronica's on the line.
I know. That's what that light means, John. And then he puts himself in your show. Veronica's on the line. Thank you. This is crazy, right?
John's been doing I can tell he's fighting to get me in there because sometimes there's technical challenges. So
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you.
Are you back on the show? What happened? John is back on the show.
John's on.
Thank you, Veronica. Yes. Nobody asked you to get on air and thank her. Hey, thanks, Veronica. Fuck. Shit
I
is
can
crazy
feel it.
right now, man.
I can feel it.
So listen,
Fine.
let me introduce my guest. You heard her, the resident unicorn. And this unicorn is special. She has 2 horns. Jesus. Veronica Conway has joined the conversation yet again. Once again. We got a heavy topic. How you doing, Veronica?
I'm good.
Excellent. And guess who's rejoining the fray?
Oh my God.
We had to bring in some different energy. For a minute, we had 19 Virgos.
Virgo Nation.
That shit was crazy. Virgo Nation is crazy. They gonna compete, my nigga. You say some shit they don't agree with, they gonna compete. No, it's not that. It's this. Oh, all right, I'm sorry. Joining the show again, Fallon Favors.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
I don't think they know who you are. Can you just give them a quick?
Yes, I'll give you a little spiel. I used to be on a reality show on BET called College Hill. One of the first reality shows, like before reality shows were even like really big. This is like in 2006, 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I also host a weekly podcast called Laced Off the Record. You can check that out as well. And I'm a singer-songwriter.
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 It's about to go down in the town. She's also a mother.
I'm also a mother of an 8-year-old daughter, beautiful.
As
And,
is Veronica Conway.
Hi, Veronica.
She a mama bear too.
You have a 23-year-old and a 20-year-old.
Wow.
Amazing.
So you already know it's time for me to get into this topic. You guys might not like it. You might be a little upset about it. But I don't give 2 shakes of a fat rat's ass about how you feel. It's time to really go in for the kill. I don't want to kill the women. I love the women. Jesus. But we have to have this conversation. Today's topic, Mama's baby. Daddy's maybe. A deeper look at the Teflon image of motherhood. These motherfuckers are beyond reproach. Is fatherhood in the new millennium becoming obsolete? Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Well, how did I even arrive at this topic? You know, I do a weekly podcast with comedian Corey Holcomb. And a whole shitstorm blew out, just went crazy. There was a shitstorm last week because Corey commented on a young comedian's picture.
Oh my God.
She took a picture. She was just the image of the picture looks as if she's nude. She took a picture with a 4-year-old kid, her kid, and he looked nude, but if you look closer, you can tell he's not nude. He's wearing some shorts and he has on some Jordans. They both have on Jordans. And Corey basically was like, this is what's wrong with the African American community. I mean, he implied, he said, this is how you create effeminate young men, and just, whew. And it was a blowout, right? TMZ went to Corey Holcomb and was like, yo, let's talk about it. She responded to Corey Holcomb, and she's a talented young lady, and I think she has a bright future in front of her as well. But her response is what made me think in a different direction. Her response was, this is my body, this is my kid, and I could do what the fuck I want to do with both. And then I came to the realization that it's a shared kid. It's never just your kid. I don't give a damn if daddy dead. That's a shared child. And in the African American community, I just believe that we hear, this is my motherfucking kid, and I'm gonna do what the fuck I'm gonna do, nigga. Yeah, I'm just saying. There's a lot of neck twisting and foot stomping on it being just your kid, right? That's just one example. Here's another example that you may think is unrelated, but I'm good at doing that. Tying in supposedly divergent perspectives and showing the through line that makes them pretty much relative to each other. I'm great at that. Beyonce at the Grammys. Looking like a pregnant goddess. She was looking delicious. I can't lie. Looking like a pregnant goddess. An African goddess at that. Jesus. Got the halo and the crown, everything glowing in this mug.
Playing Oshun, which was amazing.
Yes, I love it all.
Virgo, by the way. Another.
Yes, I know. Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
They're everywhere. Virgo is ubiquitous. Okay, fine. So,
It's a fact.
but again, she had I saw this picture and it was, and I'm not saying it was by design and I'm not saying it was by her design. I'm just saying a picture's worth 1,000 words, sometimes 1,000,000 words. I'm not saying she's responsible for the picture. But the picture I saw was a picture of her mother, and her daughter. Right? And the first thing came to mind was, and they were all in yellow and gold, and they just looked really great. And I'm just saying, like, for African American people, we have to be careful what we praise because it might reinforce some bullshit we think about each other. Right? So I saw the picture and I was like, God damn, where is Beyonce's daddy in that picture? How come Jay-Z isn't also in that picture? Oh, well, Beyonce's mom and her dad broke up. But if you're going to take that picture and go, look at these goddesses, well, families are made from gods and goddesses. It's not just the women in the family. Where are the men? Dad is as responsible for Beyonce. Some would even argue more so. All right, as her mother is. Dad used to be the manager. How come he's not in there? I just think when we have opportunities and platforms this big, we can send a greater message when we all come together. So I was like, I got to do this Mother Beyond Reproach show. Dads are disposable. Toilet tissue pops. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Which gender? You know I have questions. Which gender is most responsible for maintaining the mindset that won't allow for successful blended families? Yeesh. Is it the man or the woman? Ugh. What kind of mother are you? This is a very broad question, but what does that mean? I'll give you an example. When you put a mother in a position to make decisions without the dad, you kind of have to live with whatever comes from that. But what most people don't question is mother parenting through trauma? Is she parenting through a coping mechanism? Is she parenting through unforgiveness? Because all of this is bad parenting. But a lot of people don't call mama out when that happens. Ugh, God. Are most women more about gender sisterhood than family? Let's all roll together, because soon as something go bad in a relationship, they go to their girlfriends. They go to the women in the family. They create a coven of witches. I'm painting a picture. You guys are going to help me talk about it, of course. True or false? When child custody is being disputed, missteps can be easy to make and very difficult to reverse. And typically, it's the man getting his ass kicked on those mistakes made. 80% in court will tell you. 80% of the time, 80% of the cases, when you're dealing with parental alienation syndrome, PASS, it's 80% mom has the kid, 20% pops doesn't have the kid, and there is some real abuse going on when you keep a kid away from his parent, away from his father, which is typically the non-custodial parent. That's abuse, but nobody calling mama out on this abuse. Today, we will. and I will not let you women blame us. That's it. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. A deeper look at the Teflon image of motherhood. Is fatherhood in the new millennium becoming obsolete? We might as well just get on into it. Fallon!
Jesus.
I know you've kept your child away from... No, I'm just kidding.
I know you've been guilty of... Oh, my God.
All right, speak to us about it.
I don't even know where to start with this topic. I know for me, I guess I can start with my daughter and my child's father. I've basically had to go the complete direct opposite direction in how I interface with my child's father than my mom interfaced with my father.
Say more.
And so my mother was dealing with a lot of issues. She was adopted, so there was like abandonment issues. There were a lot of different things going on with why I think our relationship wasn't more seamless as far as me being the child in the middle. I was their only child.
You might have to join this show. Because this motherfucker came on and told the truth.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it. I can smoke a bag of that. Continue.
Yes. So with raising my daughter, I've had to do the exact opposite of what she did, which was put my pride to the side, even if that means, feeling like I don't agree with what my child's father is, saying at the moment or how he's acting, or all of that stuff is trivial because I'm not perfect either. And I'm the one that chose to sleep with him and have the baby with him.
Whoa!
So it's like, let's figure it out. And as a result, he's been, he's grown, and we had her super young. I was 22. He was 24? So we've grown. We've gotten a lot better with interacting with each other and making it happen. And at the end of the day, it's about her. And that's just it. That's it.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. In the name of his high... No, I'm sorry. I was about to pray. I'm sorry. Veronica, I know you have some very pointed thoughts on this topic right now. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Speak on it!
Well, so in my situation, my ex-husband chose his own obsolescence. That was his choice.
Here we go.
No, it's true. It's true because I had done a lot of things. He was 18 years my senior.
Damn, Veronica.
Huh?
I said, damn. You like them old, don't you?
He was 18 years my senior. I told you I had daddy issues, but because of what I went through around my own daddy and my lack of daddy in being in prison, I'm not confused about that.
But don't date a fig.
I put him through an MBA at 50 and paid for it.
Wow. Whoa.
I let him stay home, and so I gangbang with him completely. But then when he sat down, I had to get up and do whatever I had to do.
Sat down.
I was at that point supporting 6 people in Marin County, which is one of the most expensive counties on planet Earth.
Tell us where you live then. Niggas will come visit.
No, I'm not anymore, but so when we would, so initially, even after he sat down, even after I put him through a degree, even after I had done all the heavy lifting in the relationship, when then I'm like, okay, there has to be some contribution to, like, I can't keep sustaining all this by myself. At some point, you're going to have to make some choices. And so watch this, all right? This is instructive. So rather than face off with his inability to contribute, it's kind of like Republicans. Once you tell yourself a lie about, you justify what you're not doing, and you tell yourself another lie about what you're not doing, you tell yourself another lie, then you become dysfunctional because you become divorced from reality. So now you can kind of justify anything. Anything that you do or don't do. And so he became completely dysfunctional at being able to do just basic shit. It wasn't like big shit. I had all the big shit handled. He couldn't even do basic shit, but because rather than square off with the truth of what he was dealing with, he chose to blame me for it and say, well, you're the problem and I don't have a problem. And so when you go into denial of reality, this is for males or females, then you become dysfunctional inside of reality, and then you render yourself obsolete. So if you've ever even dealt with a woman who she can't be counted on to access the truth and to look at it with wide-eyed, then you don't trust her. You can't do it.
Well, it's very interesting that you brought this up and masterfully turned it back on the men, but that's fine.
I'm just giving you my experience.
I'm
giving you my experience.
I get it. I get it. And your experience, although different, because not a lot of people are doing, living in Marin County and, doing all of that, The bottom line is this, though. Those decisions made after, which I love this right here, after he sat down. That is the illest diss you can ever give a man right now.
You sat down.
You sitting down?
Yeah, for real.
I'm automatically thinking he's on the toilet now. You pissing and you're sitting down. Is that what happened?
Basically.
That's terrible, right? But let me just point this out because I know a little bit about your story, Veronica.
It's just what happened.
I know, but Veronica, let me point this out.
Okay.
Because we talked about this earlier today. Veronica is a throwback mama. I had an older lady tell me what a throwback mama was. She told me this. She said, listen, I don't know what's up with the new women. She said, the women I knew dealt with the same shit the new women are dealing with. But we didn't complain and we didn't bitch. We just took responsibility for the situation and raised great kids. That's what this older sister, she was like 70. She was like, all this, soon as y'all break up, run to the courthouse shit is new. She was like, back in the day, we just did it and we didn't complain and we got the work done. And the kids turned out cool. And when dad got some sense, they connected on their own or they connected some kind of way. I didn't stand in the way. But I made sure I raised great kids without bitter bitching.
Which I did.
Yes, you did do that. I'm saying you a throwback mama. New mamas be doing some wild shit based on an adopted coping mechanism. Based on, listen, you might not know them, but they live. They live just like Roddy Piper's movie. They live. Put your shades on. You'll see them. Right? They live. Right? And it creates this dysfunctional belief system that says, this kid is mine. When is the last time you heard a sister say, this kid is ours? I'm just asking. Is that some normal shit to hear right now? I haven't heard it in a long time, and I'm in my 40s. I haven't heard this our dude, this our kid.
If it is in fact our kid, then I think that people have to sit down and 100% lay out the requirement of raising kids. The $90,000 a year that it takes an effort if you were going to outsource it to raise a kid, the $250,000 that it takes to just for the hard expenses. All of the energy that you have to deal with as a parent, if you're going to be a wholesome availability to them, there's inner work that you have to do so that you're not bitter and carrying over all of the bullshit of your trauma and past.
But Veronica, we're missing one thing.
If we're going to sit down and parent, so first of all, at some point, black folks are going to have to decide to parent consciously instead of by accident. That's got to be the first thing. Because Frances Cress Welsing, who wrote the ICE paper, said we shouldn't be even having kids until we're 30. And at this point,
I can smoke a bag of that.
There's IUDs, there's shit that actually works as birth control, and we have to decide to do it intentionally. Because if we keep doing it by surprise, and then we haven't positioned ourselves and gotten ourselves adult and whole and healthy and where we can plan, then we're always going to be fighting we end up fighting each other. But what we should be fighting for is the master plan and the vision for raising children.
All of that is smokable. I can smoke all of that.
Smokable.
But here's the problem. How do you build a family, construct a family around double standards? Now, let me just say, the shit mamas get away with, dads are vilified for. If dads was doing it, you're going to hell. There's a special place in hell waiting on you. Moms get to do it. I know a friend of mine whose mom took the family out of a middle class situation and basically took him to a cult. We all right in the middle class situation, but let's roll to the cult now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, wait, hold on. That's a bad choice. But hold on. Let me finish this thought, Veronica. I know your tail is wagging. There are other people who'd like to share.
Okay. I'll share. Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? They those children still love their mama to death. If dad would have did it, he would still be on trial. If dad would have did that, we leaving middle class and we going to a cult. Niggas be like, what the fuck kind of daddy is you? Soon as you get old enough to flex on dad, you would. I'm just saying, let's deal with the double standard. We know, okay, yeah, sometimes men sit down on their responsibility. We get it. But now guess what's happening? More men are saying, fuck family and all that bullshit. I'm finna be single.
Absolutely.
Because it costs too much when it go bad. And who is it costing? Me. Fallon.
Oh my.
Over here fucking up.
In my age bracket or whatever, my demographic, I feel like what women lack is accountability. And that makes
Whoa. Wait, hold on. Just wait a second. Turn the music up. I just need to hear some beats right now.
Yeah. My rhymes are trash.
What? Fallon.
No, seriously. I mean, this is based on my friends that have children, other women that I just know in general. I have homies or whatever that have baby mamas, same type of situation. And it's really the accountability of being able to be honest with your shit and say, this might be some of the reasons why this is, being tied into how I raise my child and how I interface with you in raising my child. Everything from insecurities to daddy issues to, jealousy, envy. Because the biggest thing is once daddy moves on, that's when the biggest problems come in with the manipulation.
Whoa.
And so it's a lot of it is just about the accountability. You have to own your shit. That's the biggest problem. Once you start there, then you can say, because it's always easier to point and say, well, you ain't shit. You only giving me this a month. You ain't seen Tyrone since, woo, woo, woo. And it's like, well, why hasn't he come? Have you made it 100% easy? Have you made yourself 100% transparent for him to feel comfortable enough to come and do what it is that he needs to do?
Because ain't nobody talking about the kid as the chess piece yet.
Right.
We'll speak on that later.
Because it is some trifling daddies out there. Don't get it twisted. It's
yes.
You know what I mean?
But trifling daddies, in terms of star power, right? If we look at it in terms of star power and media exposure, trifling daddies get high-level, movie-level exposure. Daddies ain't shit for the most part. Daddies are expendable for the most part. I could do this shit. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm coming to you, Veronica. You know we can't see you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You rarely get that superstar deadbeat mama. You rarely get that. And I'm talking about within the family structure. Let me give you another example. I got a homeboy. I've known him since I was 10. Right? He's a little older than me. Known him since I was 10. Had 2 kids by this chick. This is an old spiritual monk ass dude. So I didn't understand how he got with the girl he got with. But he got with her. I'm guilty of the same thing. He got with her, had 2 kids. She want to use the kids as chess pieces, right? Fuck around, cheating on the dude, fucking with some niggas in the hood that we all know. So he was like, all right, I'm out. We done. She then takes the kids, leaves the state of California, goes back to some country butt fuck hairy hole city, wherever.
Harry Hole.
Hairy hole. Hairy hole Hilltop County, somewhere. She over there. The dude she messing with. No, as a matter of fact, she go back to Chicago. The dude she messing with winds up molesting his daughter.
Oh, Jesus.
And that came out later.
Mm-hmm.
So my homeboy goes to Chicago. This Dina Love, he go to Chicago on turn. He want to slap everybody in the mouth, but he's smart. He does it right. He goes through the court system, gets the kids. And that's when all the revelations start coming out. Do you know this motherfucker is basically, this is a mama, non-existent in the kid's family or in the kid's life right now? Basically non-existent. Little girl has been stunted by what has happened to her. Going through, therapy and all of that. Still ain't right. But these kinds of mamas are not vilified in the same way that dad is. If dad did that, dad's going to hell and the family is signing the hell warrant. Get the hellhounds in here. We got a nigga that needs an express trip. But those kids still love their mom. The love for mom seems beyond reproach. How do we reconcile that if we're going to build a sane family? Veronica, is your tail wagging?
So here's the thing. When we talk about a double standard, let's really drill down into what that really means. There are things that instinctively we consider to be the role of the masculine. And instinctively we consider to be the role of the feminine. It's not made up, like it's become more constructed. But if you look at nature, if you look at the way that things function naturally, there is something that the masculine does and what the feminine does. Now, when people begin to violate that, then we instinctively recoil. So you can look at, say, for example, a woman that is a porn star and takes a lot of dicks. We instinctively recoil from it because we understand instinctively that potentially pollutes the thing for biology in kids. For example, there's certain things that we understand, and so double standards. At some point, we've got to go back into our lane and decide to represent the masculine if we're men and the feminine if we're female. That has to be a conscious choice that we make. And then if we did that, there's no such thing as a double standard because some shit ain't for you as a man and some shit ain't for me as a woman.
Right.
I can do it. I can muscle through playing both the masculine and feminine, raising kids and gangbanging around money and being the nurturer. I can muscle through it, but I was never designed to. I wasn't designed to. And so, or a man can, watch this. A man can decide to abdicate or not deal with the functional responsibility for his children, meeting their needs. He can do that, but there will be a loss of self-respect that comes from it. Unless he makes agreement with that woman in advance, there will be something that erodes in his masculinity because there's something that he's meant to do. So we all have to go back to our nature and our lane, and then there won't be a double standard. I don't need to take on a man's standard as a woman.
Wow.
It's not for me to do.
This is crazy right now. Mamas, I'm going to give you an opportunity.
No, Lord.
If you've been on that bullshit, you can call in and confess your sins without judgment. I won't say a word. As a matter of fact, nobody will. We will allow you to call the Voice of Reason confessional and get it off your chest. A lot of times, speaking some shit you've been holding on to is really therapeutic and cathartic and healing. The reason why you holding on to it, because you know if you speak it to somebody, they're going to judge you. You're not going to be judged here. If you've made a deadly, deathly mistake, and maybe your kids ducked it. Maybe your kids ducked the bullet of the mistake you made. You can call here and confess it. Just get it off your chest. The number to dial, 323-230-4610. I know a lot of people might be afraid to do that, but I'm just letting you know the option is here for you to call in and just express yourself. Listen, becoming a mother or a father doesn't come with a fucking manual, right? It doesn't come with a book and a guide on how to do it. So ain't nobody right on the outside of your situation. Did you? No one's right on the outside of your situation. Only you're right. People can offer you suggestions, but you make the situation or the suggestion right for you when you tailor make it for yourself and what you're going through. So nobody can be right about what's going on with you. But you can call in today and get it off your chest. 323-230-4610. Caller, you're on the line. Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Where are you calling from and what's your name? Caller?
Yes.
Is that Veronica or somebody else?
Hello.
Hello, caller. Hey.
Hi.
How are you? Turn that music down so she can hear. Michelle, not Michael.
Who's my?
Listen, I keep telling you, we have an engineer. Pardon us, Michelle. Pardon us, Michelle. Okay?
No problem.
Our engineer he's horrible. Okay? He's horrible because we're friends. When I first got here, he was the best guy here. Now, he's like, Zoe's my homie.
Is there someone, Michael Stone, that pays the bill or something?
Hey, her name is Michelle.
Okay,
Are you back on the show?
It says Michael, right?
I'm gonna have to put.
It says Michael.
I'm gonna have to put Big Eddie on you. Eddie, handle
You
this.
need to pay him like a friend, and
Okay.
then maybe he'll get back in the work mode.
How you know he ain't getting paid? Look at that assumption. Just like mamas.
No, I just said
No, I'm just.
that's what I said. I didn't say you weren't. I'm just saying if he's acting like a friend, then pay him like a friend, you know? Hook up right.
Speak on it, Michelle. I know you've been listening to today's topic.
Yeah. So,
I mean, talk to us
I
about
just wanted to talk on a broader sense because I agree with all of you. So I just wanted to speak on a broader sense and say that our society now is a patriarchal society, right? And so what you have when you have a man that is being taken to task, or as you say, being put on movie star status when he doesn't earn up to his responsibilities with his child, it's because that is a threat to patriarchal society. You have a society where men are being told you lead, you're in charge, you're supposed to do this, you're the head of the household. And so when that doesn't happen, you're leaving the door open for women, on the other hand, to take control of the household. So, of course, you're going to be made an example of and taken to task and being made to be out the villain. And sometimes they are the villain and sometimes they aren't. But my point with that is that there's a broader argument going on. There's things going on outside of the black community that are affecting the black community, such as feminism for the sisters. Now, I'll tell you that I didn't go to the Women's March in January. I caught a lot of flack for that. I didn't go to the Women's March because
Fallon did.
I did not.
Fallon was there. Fallon was there singing.
That's where I didn't go.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Michelle.
No, that's didn't go because it behooves me as a black woman to go and march for equal rights for women. When I know as a black person, even if that woman does get their equal rights, I still have to fight for mine as a black person. And we saw this happen way back in the suffrage movement when white women got the right to vote in 1918, and we didn't get our right to vote until the civil rights movement 50 years later. So it behooves me to waste time to do all of that. And a lot of black women are buying into the idea of feminism. They're buying into the idea that you don't need a man, that you don't need to participate in a family, standard family unit.
Wait a minute,
or
Michelle.
You don't need to support your man.
Michelle, were you on my Instagram earlier today?
Yes, I was.
That was your ass, wasn't it?
That was my ass.
I hear you now in a different light.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go deeper.
But, I can't type. I can only type but so fast, so I couldn't get my ideas out.
All right.
But no. So honestly, a lot of black women are buying into this. And to your point, you said Beyonce came on stage and she looked like an African goddess, but she didn't have her father nor the father of her child and her unborn children up there with her. That says a lot. And that sends a message subconsciously or consciously for those who are actually aware of what that message was. It sends a message that, oh, yeah, you can still be glorious without a man. And that's fine to a certain extent because we do have to establish our identity separate from a man. But let's not make the mistake and say that we don't need you guys. We were created to complement you guys. We were created to do everything that you can't do. You know, and just like there are certain things that I want a man to do, that I think a man should do, and I'm going to let them do that. I'm not going to take that away from them. And a lot of women are on the other end of the spectrum because they're frustrated, hurt feelings, and everything. And there's a variety of reasons, but you really have to look at the root cause. Everybody has to be accountable for their own shit. You know, but as far as men going and saying, oh, this woman railroaded me and now I got to pay child support, well, all you have to do is wear a condom. And for the woman saying, all my baby daddies ain't shit and this and that, well, you know what? Get to know who you fucking before you let them fuck raw.
I agree, Filibuster McFarland. I agree.
Accountable for their own shit.
That's hilarious.
I agree.
When you're not accountable, then we end up in situations like this where everybody wants to blame each other.
Now this brings me. Hold on, Michelle. Michelle. Can we have a piece of the show too?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good, baby. Stay with us.
20 minutes. Man. You had time for me to get going. Sorry.
Let me bring this to the forefront. You brought up a great point about the Beyonce and the Jay-Z and all of this and that. Good job, John. John again. You guys see him? It's John again. Okay. You brought up a great point about Beyonce and Jay-Z and, you know, that family image and what that could show. But Veronica brings up a point with regards to homosexuality and religion. You'll say, how does this connect with what the sister just said? And let me tell you how. We know that Christianity, especially Catholicism, and you look at how those priests be fucking with them little boys, right? Well, that's because you ain't got the woman in the God hierarchy. It's God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and the Holy Ghost is considered a dude. So if you don't have the woman in the hierarchy, well, they'll say, well, Mary, the Divine Mother Mary. But for the most part, the Trinity is dudes. Dudes praying to a male God. So no wonder there's homosexuality in that situation, right? And you're taking the divine aspect of sexuality out altogether without even really understanding it. You're replacing divine sexuality with guilt. Oh, homosexuality pops right in. Boom. Now the little boy booty look good. You be like, wow, boy booty. What? What's going on? Where are we? I thought this was holy. No, there is a hole. Do you understand? It's a different kind of holy. Oh.
What is happening?
I'm just saying. I'm going there. But I would argue that the reverse is true when women exclude men from the family infrastructure. This my child. Fucks that kid up. He belongs to me. She is my child. If you wanted to be a part, you should have brought your wallet in here. But guess what? A man's participation is bigger than his wallet. It's bigger than the two things you guys give the most merit to, and that is provision and protection. A man being involved in a little girl or a little boy's life is bigger than just provision and protection. There are way more currencies good fathers bring to children than just provision and protection. Am I lying, Veronica?
Right. So I want to answer that, but I want to preface it with this. So what they actually did, if you look at if you go back and really find the initial text and stuff around it, it wasn't Jesus, the Father, and the Holy Ghost. It was actually the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and God. That's what the Trinity actually initially was. And so then it got corrupted because men wanted to exclude the feminine from it, right? So even when you look at Beyonce, so there has to be a restoration of the divine feminine on the planet. So that, because if there were the divine feminine, I'm not saying all females, I'm saying the divine feminine, then we wouldn't tolerate war and murder, and we just wouldn't do it. So I'm going to say that, first of all. Secondarily, I think that I'm always going to say that we're meant to come together and not blame. So,
you know women blame men more than men blame women. Oh, come on.
Really?
That pregnant pause. That is radio gold, baby. Really? Yes. I'm going to plant my flag right there.
I think that we are operating in a state of total dysfunction in our community. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. There's slavery, and, they're finding out DNA got handed down, and trauma gets handed down in the DNA. I've known that for, 20 years. So we are recovering from the assault on our personhood, on our souls, from the dominant culture. And so at some point we have to say women blame, which is true, but the dysfunction that has come down through the generations is partially a function of her not being protected. So she makes fucked up choices. I agree today. But at some point, so even if you go back, though, and look at the thing with Corey and this comedian, at some point, are we going to take responsibility for the illness in our community from a holistic perspective? In other words, are we all going to come together and gangbang around sick men, sick women? Are we going to come together and actually decide to do something about that? Or are we going to continue to devolve into, well, use the ain't shit bitch, use the ain't shit nigger?
I agree.
We have to stand up and decide to heal ourselves.
I agree.
They ain't going to do it for us. But it takes both. It takes both.
I agree. You're not going to get no disagreement out of me. We need women to step up and defend dads in the same way you guys circle the wagons around whack women.
We need.
Hey!
I'll go higher than that. We need for men and women of consciousness to come together and design the future. So one of the problems that happens when we devolve into the blame game is that we are always looking back. And I look back because I understand the historical context in terms of how we got here. Because today, you're going to be a adult human being that's going to bang on behalf of the black community. You have to look forward. And so the question has to become, what will we design? Will we design, if we're going to have kids, what do we design? If we're going to have economies, what will we design? There has to be a forward-thinking narrative.
This is good.
That I think that we've lost because we're constantly reacting to our wounding.
This is good.
That's men and women. And unless we heal that, we're going to constantly be reacting in a reactive state. At some point, we have to vision cast. We have to be about what we're going to create for the future. That takes communication. That takes understanding how somebody's wounded. That takes understanding how you've been wounded. It takes all of that investigation. I'm sorry that it's so hard. I'm sorry that it's so much work. I've lived it. I've facilitated it. I've dealt with it. But that's what it takes. And so until we're going to stand up and do that, then we get the results that we get.
No, I get it.
And we can't complain. Then we can't complain about those either.
I get it. Fallon?
Oh, I think I've been sitting here thinking, I think that it's a money thing with the moms.
Whoop.
It's a really big emphasis on this money thing. When you say, was it provision and protection?
That's what I said.
And
Hallelujah.
so, like for example, for my mom and my dad, it was a lot of emphasis on the child support. Well, he stopped paying child support. And so, and then after a while, he just couldn't start keeping them up. And she led me to believe as a child that the reason why he wasn't there was because he didn't want to be there. When really there was
You mean she lied?
She lied. So really it was an issue of, you have to pay to see your child. And if you don't pay, you won't be able to see her.
I did a show March 4th, 2010 on my Voice of Reason show when it was on Sirius XM's Jamie Foxhole's Foxhole Radio called Pay-Per-View.
Yes, I saw that.
Jamie Foxx was on it. Mm-hmm. Earthquake was on it. And my homegirl, Demetria L. Graves, who is an attorney at law, family law attorney, and we did the pay-per-view show. Now, listen, I'm gonna nail you motherfuckers down. Somebody got to own that kind of behavior as anti-mother. Because that's fucking up the child directly. Mm-hmm. You can't call yourself a good mama if you're an obstacle. If you're this divider. And when we say divider, I'm speaking an ideological divider. Mm-hmm. When you're planting seeds, conceptual seeds in the child's mind that are anti-daddy, you're anti-mama. Who gonna hold her accountable?
Can I do this? So I agree with that because I never.
30 seconds.
I never took my ex-husband to task around. I just figured it out. But here's the thing. At some point, there has to be a realization of the reality. In other words, we talk about child support. There has to be a realization of the reality of raising children, which I don't think that we address deeply enough. I'm not saying there's not some bad, fucked up chicks out there. What I am saying is that once
you have them, you got to pay for them. Period.
And that includes, that's across the spectrum of logistics. So
what is it, $2 million, Veronica?
It's $2 million. It's effort and money to raise a child. It's $90,000 a year. If you outsource all the tasks of running around, taking kids to doctor's appointments, getting hair done, going to dentists, doing whatever, just for a basic family life. It's $90,000 a year, plus $250,000 a year in hard costs. And it goes up every day. So at some point, if we don't sit down and design that, then we are letting the white men into our community through the courts because somebody has to deal with that. And if we don't sit down as parents, as people that created a baby, and make a decision about how to deal with that, then we are in default to the child.
And not only default to the child, but default to the system that we are raising the child in. Demetria L. Graves, attorney at law, family law attorney, said it. She was like, we capitalize off of your inability to figure it out. And the way we're trained around winning. So whoever comes to get us first, we're on their team. And we're going to help them win by any means necessary. Now, that's going to fracture the family. This is why the court system started moving away from lawyers and more over to mediators. Let's get some mediators in here because we're ripping families apart because we're educated to win. We're trained to win. So in the
So what I'm saying is don't get in front of the fucking court. That's a choice.
But Veronica, yes, it's a choice. But when you dumb as a box of salmon scales.
Then there's consequences. Then there's consequences.
Right. I'm just a bag of fish scales over there, just stupid. When you like that. And unfortunately, that is the plight for many.
But see, dumb people need love too. So why don't we just have dumb people get together with dumb people? But that's fine.
Listen,
but then smart people quit getting together with dumb people. Like I've had to learn that. Like stop getting together with dumb people. Get together with smart people. It's a choice. It's all a choice.
I get it. I'm not saying the choice. I mean, it's a poor choice when you're not prepared mentally, when you haven't lived. If you notice, successful marriages happen in higher number or in greater number the older you are when you get married. The younger marriages fucking flame out. The statistics are there. Raising kids after you've seen the world, after you've gone to school, after you've built something, after you've enterprised and was, just doing your shit. Raising kids under those circumstances are different than raising kids under the pressure of, you better figure out what you're going to do in the next 30 days, my nigga.
Correct. I love that you're saying this, though, because here's the thing. Like, we talked about child custody, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. Like, listen, if women gave children back to men that they had with them and then paid them the child support and let them figure it out for a year, that the whole conversation would change.
Well, wait a minute, Veronica. Wait a minute. There are a lot of women out there who refuse to give that kid up. Let me send you to your daddy. There's a lot of women that ain't gonna send nobody nowhere because that's that bargaining chip.
I'm just saying there has to be a sense where you can walk a mile in somebody's shoes. So you talk about Momma, and why does she go crazy when she's alone and then makes dysfunctional choices?
And children.
I'm not blaming men. I'm blaming the fucking environment. Because listen, the only reason that I was able to raise 2 kids with $400 a month in child support.
Can I answer that?
$400.
Let me answer that.
Wait.
Can I answer that real quick? It's a short one. It's a short answer. It's a short answer. You know how you were able to do it? Because you're fucking smart. You're smart and you work hard. and you're not going to settle for subpar, and you're not going to blame anybody. You're going to go out, you're going to make it happen regardless. Throwback mama.
But what I also had to do is I had to invoke men into my personal circle.
Okay, here's the spiritual part.
The men, like the man that could infuse me with enough firepower in my own being to go out and fight that battle every day. Otherwise, I'd be crazy. I had to go back and recover all of the shit that I'd been through, the childhood Black Panther, all the fucking trauma. I had dealing with a white stepmom who was crazy. I had a crazy stepmom too. I had to go back piece by piece and dismantle that in the space of having children and raising them and doing what I had to do. So it's a choice. That's a choice that I had to make. But I would have loved to not have had to make those choices alone. I would have loved to have a man, the daddy, participate. But once I discovered that he wasn't going to, because he was more committed to his sense of victimization than he was to his children, to the vision that we established together, then I had to make a choice. That's a real thing. So it's not even just the logistics and all that. It's the spiritual work that you have to do. It's going to be a single parent. There's all the spiritual work you have to do to buoy yourself and sustain yourself in light of the onslaught, the relentlessness of single parenting. It's fucking relentless.
It is, but it still shouldn't take you off the hook for detrimental decisions made. We have to take a quick break.
Nobody should be off the hook.
Veronica, you gonna let me take a break? We went an hour straight, baby. Can I go to break, Veronica, please?
There are no breaks.
I don't get tired.
I don't get tired. This is parenting. This is a parenting show. We ain't gonna go to break. Yo, the voice of reason is on fire right now. I had to do this topic. Badass mamas running around this motherfucker tripping. And I want to hear what women got to say about it. We're going to take a quick break, but do we still have callers on? All right, we're going to come back to her when we come back. Whew, we need a breather. We'll be back in 2.2, the voice of reason, Hot Button Radio. We're out. Yeah. Oh, man, we in here tripping. I'm going to tell you right now, man. Family building, legacy building, that shit is a byproduct of self-awareness. You are a deadbeat person if you have no idea of what it means to be you. In other words, if you are bereft of self-knowledge, you cannot be an effective girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, or father, or whatever. Wife, you can't be effective to no one. And a lot of times, man, when we get these kids, man, we're trying to ride them past our own weaknesses. Parenting through coping mechanisms. And I'm just saying, nobody is like, okay, everybody is up for criticism. But I just think men get the criticism in a way that women don't get it in. Women are allowed to do shit, behave in a way that men are just not allowed to behave in. And I said before, men are socialized to be responsible for everything. And that's why a lot of men are opting out. They're opting out of family. Now, I'm going to say this, and this might be a little revolutionary. What if in the new millennium, just like the LGBT did, got bred, got organized, petitioned the government, and then got recognized, and then got rights and shit for that recognition? What if men get together, organize, petition the government, do whatever they got to do for the right not to have a family.
Agreed.
And I mean,
totally.
And I mean, in terms of
totally,
just like a woman, it's my body. I do what I want to do. Whoop, whoop, whoop. What happens when the law steps in and goes, you can't have that kid unless he signs off on it?
I love that.
What happens then?
Ain't no more baby.
What happens then? See, you understand what I'm saying? What happens when the government steps in and goes, not here, not anymore? You don't get to just have a kid because you got pregnant. Because a lot of women value motherhood more than self-improvement, more than self-development. You ready to be a mother before you develop. You ready to be a mother before you reconcile trauma, unforgiveness, how your daddy treated you. But do you understand? You got a lot of women out there who run head first into motherhood before they run head first into self-improvement.
I have to comment on it. I think I take that more personally, or it resonates more with me because my mother. My mama, and I love my mom, and that's the thing. You feel guilt by calling your mother or mothers to the floor. Because you feel like mothers have given you everything. They've given you life. And then people make you feel bad if you do have gripes or resentment or feelings of betrayal from your mother. It's like you're just supposed to deal with it.
But you could live with your mama with feelings of betrayal and all that shit. Daddy, you cannot.
Right.
Y'all niggas be like, Daddy, go on down the street now. You better stop fucking around, Daddy. Right. I'm telling you, don't come up here with that shit, nigga.
Right. But I think for my father, because there was onus on him, I think, for not fighting for the relationship with me as much as he could also. So there's onus on his end for that as well. But with my mom, I feel like it's more arrogance than it is humility with that. My daddy knows he fucked up.
Woo.
And so with the way we interface now, he just does whatever he can to be a grandfather to my daughter, and then, open to me, and kind of just lets me come to him as I come to him, and let that be that. But my mom is very arrogant about her mistakes and her shortcomings in that situation, and her involvement in the lack of his presence being there. And that's where I have a problem with her, where it's like, you got to own your shit too, mama? How can you tell me to own mine? And then,
because I'm mama. Now get behind me and roll, nigga. You my daughter. Whoop.
Right.
Veronica, speak on it, baby.
Okay, there's a few things. So, what? I'm always going to point back to the system between men and women, because it can't. One is dysfunctional and the other dysfunctional because they're both dysfunctional. It is, in fact, how nature works. You can go out into the savannah, you can go out into the fucking woods, you can go out to anywhere and see how nature functions. In how there is a purpose for the feminine, a purpose for the masculine. So, a couple of things. Because I was raised by a really dysfunctional mother. Two, actually. And I made a choice and a decision to go ahead and figure out how to heal myself out of that dysfunction. Now, not everybody makes that decision at 18 years old, but I made that decision at 18 years old to reconcile my dysfunction. It's been a lifelong journey, so we have to do that work. I would say that I'm open to the whole issue of men going to have rights around how babies get born. And if a woman decides to have that child, and what the implications are. And here's what I would say to men that are currently in a situation with a woman who you already have a baby. Walk a mile in her shoes. If you can negotiate taking a child for 90 days and raising that child, and she can give you the child support that you're giving her.
Right, I do agree with that.
then, and you can function for 90 days, 120 days, a year, then you will understand what that fit takes. But
okay.
Until you have actually experienced the brunt and the relentlessness of raising children yourselves on your own, it's hard to, of course, we're going to blame each other. So I would invite any man that has a child.
I know there's some out there.
Of another woman, take the child.
I know there's some out there listening right now who are in this exact position and making it happen and making it crack. I don't think it's as rare as it's being framed. I think it's pretty common. He just don't get the publicity. Single mamas are stars. Single daddies are scars.
Single mamas are not stars.
I'm just saying. When I say that, they get the publicity. They get the publicity of being heroic for doing it.
Do you want her publicity, or do you want to be a man and a parent?
I think you need to hear what I'm saying. We're trying to bring awareness, just like for instance. Wait. Hold on. Let me finish this thought here. Just like the awareness of the fact that there are good daddies out there, black men, doesn't get the exposure or the publicity that lifestyle deserves. There are some great pops out there.
Great black fathers, but they don't defend not paying for the paying in logistics, spirituality, and money for their children.
Again, no, paying isn't the only point, Veronica. We got that point. We made that point. Paying. This whole topic isn't just about paying.
If your defense is paying, then take the children for a year and have the woman pay child support like you did for her.
Right. That's a solution.
And then you'll know what it takes.
But no. See, that last little piece, then you'll know what it takes. I'm saying there are men out there, myself included, who know what it takes.
Fine.
So that point is made. The point I want to continuously bring.
Until you're raising a child by yourself, and you have to feed a baby every day, and you have to raise a child every day.
Okay.
And the relentlessness of the needs are happening every day. And until you're solely responsible for that, you won't know what it fully takes.
Okay, you're talking about those. But Veronica, you're making a moot point here, because you're talking about those who don't know what that feels like, and I'm talking about those who do. So yes,
I'm talking about those that don't.
I get that, but the point that I'm making is quite simple here. At the end of the day, regardless of the relentless march of hunger and bills and responsibility, does that justify moms not being called to the floor for negative and detrimental decisions made that affect the kids?
I promise, if you do it long enough, you'll go crazy too. That's the point.
We justifying going crazy on the kids. I noticed.
No, you'll go. The only reason I didn't go crazy is because I developed resources and teams. I built teams. I figured it out. But until
Veronica, you're rare. You know that, right?
But I'm giving an imprint to how it works. In other words, I can be rare. That's fine.
Did you go crazy? Did you go crazy, Veronica?
Huh?
Did you go crazy?
I would have if I didn't have people that were pouring into my life.
So you sane. You stayed sane. So now you have a blueprint for how to stay sane and do it.
Right, which is why I'm giving it.
So my point is to make the point about men having to do it so they can then know what it's like. I'm saying there are men out there who know what it's like. because they're doing it.
The ones that don't. I'm talking to the ones that don't, because if you don't, then it's easy to sit there and blame. It's like you and I talked about earlier today, though, when we talked about what it takes. Like, I've had people reaching out to me on Twitter and saying, what does it take to build a business?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happens. So at some point, you have to decide to do what it takes. And until such time that you've exercised every option to do what it takes, then you can't sit here and complain from the sidelines about somebody that is.
Wait a minute. First and foremost, Veronica, it's not a complaint when the stats tell us that black fathers are marginalized from within their own families, ostracized, held in contempt, in estranged situations as a power play.
I understand all of that, but hold on. Then you have to do something different.
But Veronica, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way highway. Yes, both people have to do something different. We understand that. But to stay on topic is to deal with the resentment or whatever you want to label it, frustration, anger, guilt, whatever, that leads a mama to make decisions that are detrimental to her child and then still not be held accountable for it.
Exactly. And
that's where we are right now, today.
I go back to an earlier point where we were talking about how men need to do their lane and women have to do theirs. And it's a system. It's yin and yang. It has to happen together. And so at some point, the man has to actually find a way to summon the energy. I understand why we are apathetic. I've studied it my whole life. It's why I built Black Mastery. I get that part. But I also get that women have to do the same thing. They have to find partners and make choices that will allow their vibrance. That's an important choice that women have to make. But at some point, we all have to make decisions and choices. What I'm saying is that if a man took on the raising of the child and all that requires, and didn't leave it up to the woman, then he would understand her psychosis in doing it alone.
Psychosis? We're justifying maternal psychosis.
She becomes psychotic when she's alone. It takes a fucking village. I just had to build mine. So I didn't have that in my family.
What about the non-crazy mama who has family, everybody support her, and they just lazy? And they make bad decisions. Not everybody crazy, Veronica. Some people just bad motherfucking parents.
She has to do what I did. She has to divorce herself from them. I have let go of family. I have let go of people that didn't support me. I have fired them because you have to do that. There has to be a conscious choice it's a choice.
Listen. We've got Fallon Favors in the building, too. She wants to chime in. Fallon, get in here.
I think that what Veronica is saying, too, to her point, there's a lack of compassion that's happening. And so there's no compassion that maybe single mothers feel from the men that they've had these children with, of how hard it really may be that it is to financially provide for the child, emotionally be available, and still kind of deal with your own things and, process your own development. And maybe there's a lack of compassion on the women's side and, the person that they chose to have children with and say, well, damn, I chose to have a family with this man, knowing that he wasn't financially secure yet, knowing that he hadn't fully executed his purpose as of yet. And just on both ends, it's just like a lack of compassion. And it's kind of like, well, I'm going to wait for you to show me your compassion first. Well, no, I'm going to wait for you to show me your compassion first. You know what I mean? And then in the interim of that, the child is suffering.
It's a lot of suffering kids out here.
Yeah, facts.
And let me I'll say it again. I will say it again, my niggas.
One more time.
Listen, if we look at the way society has empowered the weaker elements of our sister's character. Just hear what I'm saying when I say this. If society puts in place almost a win-win situation for you, society basically says, we'll support what you're doing, but you can't have him involved. Right. The Claudine effect, right? He can't be involved if we're supporting you. The system becomes dad. So the real biological dad has to be ostracized, right? He has to be at arm's distance because you're going to fuck up the money that's coming into this house. That's part of the African American story when you're talking about less than middle class. Okay? Now, after that's happened, then you throw in imprisonment. The prison.
Agreed.
Right? I'm just let me paint the picture. If all of these institutional norms are in place, would it stand to reason? Is it too much I'm just saying, would it stand to reason when a sister is willingly participating in that system as a form of revenge for why the relationship didn't work or whatever? If a woman is doing that, can we just say she's not a good mother? Can we just say at the end of the day, the outcome of that kind of participation with the system, knowing what it does to black men, are you not doing your child a disservice when you participate, Fallon?
Yeah, that's the tough part because it's you feel the guilt by telling mom that. Like you said with the dad, you could say, Daddy, you ain't shit. You know you wasn't shit. And, you know, you wasn't there for me and you didn't show up at my high school recital and, you know, I hate you. For mama, it just feels crazy. And I don't know if it's because we've been conditioned that way. It has to be the case because you feel bad. Like, again, with my situation with my mother, I love my mama. But even when, you know, my boyfriend, I speak to my best friends that know me and know my situation. And even having those conversations with them, when I talk about it to them, they look at me like I'm crazy. Well, you disrespectful. That's your mama. You know, it doesn't even matter. She was there. You know, she was there. She didn't leave you on the street. She didn't leave you broke, stranded, and destitute. So, you know, and it's kind of like, yeah, but there's some effects that, you know.
What about the mama that's in the bathroom taking lingerie selfies with the baby right behind her?
And twerking.
What about the mamas twerking?
Because that's how we've been driven insane by white supremacy.
Okay.
It's affected both men and women. I am a daughter of a Black Panther. I understand how it functions in terms of how the system will incarcerate our men. I get that. It's something today. But I've written on this. I've published papers on this. My life work has been about this. Mm-hmm. But at some point today, we have to decide to interrupt the fucking pattern. I had to decide to do it. We all have to decide to do it. And so there is no responsibility and vision that can come from blame.
I agree.
And I don't blame men. I've had some amazing men. I hold men to accountability and to be responsible for their role, especially if they promise that shit to me, and I hold them to what they said they were going to do. Women have to be responsible for their role and their lane. But until we decide to interrupt the pattern, we will always be sitting here cackling about how we've been done wrong by white supremacy instead of understanding that we're more powerful than that our decisions to come together would make that happen. It's a decision.
Okay. I could smoke a bag of that. I want to hear from women right now. I want to hear from women right now. Within the sound of my voice. I want to know what y'all thought of the picture with the girl and the baby. The phone lines are open. 323-230-4610. I just want to hear from women. Would you do it? Did you think it was cool? Did you think it was classy? Did you think it was art? Did you think whatever? I want to know how women see it, you know, and like I said, this has nothing to do with the young lady. As a matter of fact, I think she's funny. I think she's talented.
Is funny. This is true.
She's very talented. So this isn't you know, about her. This could have been anybody who took this picture, and I would have questions.
Well, I feel like with Beyonce and her mother and, you know, little baby Blue Ivy, what they did, I think, was more so just celebrating the legacy of the women in the family, right?
Clearly.
Well, I mean, but just celebrating that part of it. So that I thought was nice. You know what I mean? I didn't really see it being a family portrait. It was just more so like the breakdown of the women. But as far as Jazz in her situation, it did seem like it was kind of narcissistic. It was like a level of narcissism included with what she was trying to do with her son, and more so, you know, that than trying to really relay a message about Black love between mother and child.
But I'm just asking you, what do you think? I'm a message guy. What is the message?
What is the message?
What does the picture
Our shoes
convey?
fresh. I don't know.
Like I try to understand like symbols and art. I'm an art dude. I draw. I can paint. All that. What does it mean? What did the picture mean? Is it a family portrait? It's not a portrait that you put out on the mantle at Christmas time, is it? How does the kid grow up and then look back on the picture? I'm just trying to understand the purpose.
I think it was the Jordans for me. Right. One or the other. I think it either had to have been like, you know, be clothed with the J's on or take the J's off and be naked. But I was just and then she had on socks too. So I was just completely like thrown off. But
I don't understand.
That's her child. You know, can't nobody tell her. Well, and that's what we're saying. That's her child.
Can't nobody say nothing.
But no, did you hear what I'm saying? That's her child.
Right.
It's like, where's daddy?
Right.
Yeah.
Mama's baby.
Oh, damn.
Daddy's maybe. It's always daddy's maybe. It's all Veronica. What did you see the picture? What do you think?
Can I ask a question? Can I ask you a question, though, personally?
Yeah. You just not gonna answer my question? Okay, cool.
No.
She said no.
Yeah, I won't. What are men going to steward? What are men going to steward for our community?
Okay, men are. I can answer this because I already know where you're going. All right, I already know you're going. But after I answer this, are you going to come back to the topic?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, we have a compromise. I believe men are supposed to steward any and everything that has to do with family building. Let me give you an example.
Oh, that was me.
Let me give you an example. We already know by default there is protection and provision. We already talked about those two. Let me go over provision. Provision is not just finances. All right? And provision isn't excluding finances. So finances, bedrock, provision.
Correct.
Now, there are other layers of provision because sociologists have outlined a type of father called the emotionless provider. This is a dude who pays for everything. You get your shoes, your backpack, your lunches, your jackets, your iPhones, your everything. Your bills are paid. You got cable, you got video games, you got cartridges, you got everything. But you don't have him emotionally. You don't really know him. He's not really interested in knowing you like that. He could even be in your house. So please understand, there are other currencies that are just as valuable as the financial one. But because we live in a capitalist society, there are a lot of mamas out there who will throw away all the other ones in favor of the bread. Now, moving forward, stewarding protection. Let me give you another. Protection isn't just physical. It isn't just beating somebody's ass who disrespect, although that's on deck. Right? Protection.
Protecting children from rape.
Yeah, watch this, though. It's also creating an environment where your woman feels protected enough to be able to tell you how she really feels.
Correct.
You asking me what we stored, and you asked the right nigga, because I'm going to tell you. Men create that kind of environment where there is appreciation and respect for him. When respect and appreciation for him leaves, the protection of how you really feel leaves. I'm just saying, men are capable of providing on multiple levels.
But isn't that still, well, if you show me the respect first.
No, it isn't that.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, it's simultaneous. It's yin yang.
Okay.
It's this is my response to respect and appreciation.
Right.
No, now watch how I say this. This is my response, not my reaction. A reaction is emotional based. A response comes from the core of who you are.
Correct.
Oh, wow. I'm in an environment where a woman actually appreciates and respects me by default. Boom. This is what you get. Wow. Now you're protected in all that you feel and all that you express. Boom. Yin yang. That's how that works. Men are also supposed to steward, watch this, legacy shit. What's legacy shit? Education. Right? Let me tell you, women are typically the first teachers. They're the child's first teacher, first professor. But what men do in that process, what fathers do in that process, is hold those kids to a certain level of accountability. Do you know what it feels like to hear the footsteps of your daddy on campus? I know, because my kids be like, nigga, you're our daddy nuke. We're only going to call you when shit's real. Let me tell you, you asked me what we stored in. Let me get my steward off real quick.
Go ahead and get it.
Let me get it off.
Get it off.
When I went down to Auburn, the motherfuckers knew how to act because they knew this is the adult version of the nigga we can't handle right now.
Exactly.
This is the adult refined version. So I come in and I pull everybody's card. You lied about this. You lied about that. You failed at your job in doing this. I got the text messages. You did this. You didn't do. Mr. Wiliams. Yes. Mr. Wiliams is in this motherfucker. Y'all said his grades wasn't good? How is grades not good and he leave Auburn with a 2.9 GPA?
Can I ask one more question?
No, let me finish. We stored in right now.
All right.
We stored in.
She done fired you up.
we stored in. We stored in. You don't like the kid because he's not a capitulator? Oh, and when he transfers, you motherfuckers is now 6-11 in your league and you finished 11th and now they calling for your job because you got rid of the silent leader? Oh, you can tell me he's a leader, but you won't let him lead on the court? Then the team crumble when he gone. Yeah, that's what daddies do. We steward young gods. Feel me?
Correct.
That's how dads support mom on the education side.
Brothers and sisters. And brothers.
I wasn't finished though.
Brothers. You just do that.
Now, let me just say this. He back. He's at Fresno State. And you know what they saying? Oh, God. After the first practice, they said, oh, God. Oh, Jesus. We're going to be crazy next year. Oh, Lord. They won against some people they ain't been able to beat in a long time. You know what they said the reason was? We going against him in practice now. He better than everybody we gonna see. And you know what they're focused on with him? Everything is leadership. Leadership. There's a 70-year-old coach there. All he does is give out specific quotes for specific players. All my son's quotes are on leadership. You're going to lead this team next year. We need you to do this. We need you to. They pulled him in and said, you are the reason we beat this team of San Diego State. You got us ready. How you get him ready before he get to college? Daddy. And you know who made that possible? His mama. Because she saw this daddy time. Let me get the fuck out the way. This ain't my child no more. Nunu is gone. New is here. This ain't little Noonie. Hi, Noonie. Come here, Nunu. No, Nunu gone. Nunu need dad. And she was wise enough to get out the way.
Right.
You want some stewardship?
No, so can I comment on that? This, brothers and sisters, is what alpha male firepower actually sounds like. Mm-hmm. There's conviction in the responsibility of going in and challenging the white establishment on behalf of your children. There is an inclusion of the mother so the mother could relax because the man stepped up. And that is the only case that I am making. That what Zoe is articulating right now is an embodiment of black male firepower around parenting. And if you ain't doing that, then you ain't parenting.
It's true. Fallon? I love Fallon's
I'm spiritually
voice.
Depleted. About all of this cosmic energy that's happening right now.
Yeah.
I need a question to get me back on track because I'm just, my soul just landed back in my space.
I'll ask the question. I'll ask the question to both you and Veronica.
Got it.
How do you hold bad mamas accountable?
How do you?
How do I? Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, my mom's a Capricorn. I'm Scorpio.
Well,
so, I mean, it's just like, you know, it's me. It's more so with trying to have a conversation with her. It's like, because her gripe is, you know, well, we don't have a relationship. And it's like, well, Mom, before we can really, you know, improve our relationship, like, you know, can we have an honest conversation? So I think honesty is probably like step number one, which is probably the most difficult thing to do, is to be honest and tell yourself the truth and accept the truth. Because if you haven't told yourself the truth, it probably is going to be really, really hard for you to hear from somebody else, namely your child, your only child. So I don't know, maybe the honesty, start there as a base. From there.
So you're going to hold them accountable. If you see, because I'm going to tell you how men are. We see some bullshit ass nigga and he in our circle and we find out that he on some bullshit.
Right.
With his kids.
Right.
Men coalesce around dope shit. We be like, nigga, get your puss ass out of here.
Right. They're exiled. Right.
But women don't necessarily do
what
that.
I do is just, and that's true, because I do have friends. I won't mention any names.
Here we go.
I won't mention any names. But I have seen certain actions in which I probably wouldn't agree. So what I do is just keep a distance. If I, you know what I mean? And that may be wrong, but I really don't have those types of people in my circle. If those are your bases and principles, like I probably won't fuck with you like that. I'm not going to save you because I don't feel like I could save you. But, you know, I probably just won't fuck with you like that.
There's a white man who wants to say something, Veronica. I don't know how he applies here, but he's white, so I guess he figures he can just turn on that little button over there and start talking.
Well, what I was going to say, before I was so, like, racially profiled in this what I was going to say was, I feel like girls with dudes, how when we go to dudes when there's a problem, they kind of have your back about stuff. Girls, when you go to girls don't really want to see you win. So when you go to a girl and there's a problem, they don't have shit, they don't have a man, they don't have anything. You have the man, and you're like, my man's fucking up. They're gonna pull you away from that man because they want to see you in the same. They don't want to see you winning, beating them.
They want Netflix and chill with y'all two together.
Yeah, exactly. If you're Netflix and chilling, and they're not Netflix and chilling, they want to be on the same level, like playing field as you.
Okay.
They don't want to see you winning, in my opinion.
Okay, enough of the white perspective. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Turn your mic off. Thank you and good night. Veronica, can you get us back on track after whiteness?
I had two mothers. I had the mother that gave birth to me at 16, which is technically child rape in today's terms. She gave birth to me, and then I had a white woman that raised me when my dad went to the Black Panther Party and did all that. So I have fired both of my mothers. And what that means is that when they got fucking crazy, I actually made a conscious choice to fire them.
Get up out of here. Both of y'all, get up out of here.
So I just said, you know what? You're fired. You can't be... I fired at different points in my life, but I just decided to cut off contact with both of them so that I could be removed from the trauma that they were. Now, I understand how they got to that trauma, how they arrived at that trauma. It's the function of the times. It's a function of you couldn't have black babies without a because at one point, like in the 50s and 60s, like if you had a child because you were sexual in the middle, and it could be an older man, they didn't call it. They call it today. They call it today child rape. I understand. I had to so watch this. So rather than blame them for my circumstances, I had to come to a place where I decided to do the spiritual work for me around the anger, the sense of abandonment, sense of isolation, the sense of whatever, to allow myself to be at peace with them today. White and black mothers. I had to fire them. And at some point I had to say, hey, you know what? You're too toxic to the kids. You know what? You're too toxic to my understanding of my reality. And I had to fire them. I don't think we come into emotional adulthood until we fire both our parents.
Well, I'll ask you this. Let me ask you this then, Veronica. The very concept of this is my child, do you see that as a toxic concept?
Right. So watch this. So I'm the daughter of a black woman and a black man that was raised by a white woman. Once my dad got convicted and went to prison 47 years ago. So I had to do a lot of investigation personally, energetically, around what is mother, what is father. Is the mother the person that raised you? Is it the person that birthed you? Right? So I had to do a lot of inner work around that. So at some point, we all have to go back to our roots and decide to do the work about our nature, our origins, who we come from, how we identify, the things that we assign meaning to. You have to do the work no matter your circumstances. We've come from some really fucked up circumstances. I've come more than people could ever imagine in my childhood. It's okay.
So I'm going to ask you both this question now. Fallon.
Yes.
Veronica. Is a man wrong to respond to the this is my child concept and the controlling separative behaviors of some women, not all, some but not all, is a man wrong for saying, then I ain't fucking with y'all, bounce, and then when he gets old enough or she gets old enough, they can come holler at me later?
Absolutely not.
I'm just asking.
A man has as much responsibility for the choices that he makes, whether to choose a woman or hunt a woman or fuck, or choose how he's going to use his body to create his life experience, to create either a vision or himself as a victim. He has all of that responsibility.
Oh, I like that.
So
I like that. Veronica, hold on. Veronica, we got to coin that. To create either a vision or a victim. Oh, that was big. That was big. I like that. I like that.
So we can't do vision unless we have disidentified with the victim in us.
Disidentified with the victim. Hallelujah. Hold on to Bokosha. Say more.
Because at some point I don't care what we've been through. One of the reasons that I've come to do my work is because I went through fucking so much with my father being enemy number one with the U.S. federal government. I know niggas are in jail, but you know what? The U.S. Attorney General fucking hunted, and the Fraternal Order Police hunted my father. I decided to make a life anyway. But some point, it's a choice, brothers and sisters, or how we reconcile our lives. We can sit in victimhood and I understand. I made it my life's work to understand how we've been victimized, so that I could understand how we would choose to not be victims.
Okay, so listen, really quickly. Somebody's on the line right now. I got to get some reinforcements. He's probably calling out of Miami. We know him as Hustle. Hustle!
Hustle?
Man, what's up, man?
Speak on it, man. You know we up in here getting in rare voice of reason form. You already know it's mid-season.
Y'all going to war in there right now.
We get ready. Hey, we get ready for the playoffs. That's all.
All right. So, as I'm catching up with this topic, I guess I feel like a lot of the divide is coming from people wanting sympathy over.
My bad. Tell him to go back.
Ah!
It's his board. I'm telling you.
Okay, so John just dropped you, Hustle.
Call back, Hustle.
Call back, Hustle. God, I told you, he's my friend. Ever since we became, I got to start hating this motherfucker again. I got to come in on some racist shit like, hey, get your white ass out of here.
Oh, my God.
Hustle, you back?
Man, this man.
My bad.
Yeah, exactly, Hustle. It was John. The one that was down with us from day one. It's John. Okay, go ahead, Hustle.
Right. This old can't get right over there.
Can't get right. Speak on it, Hustle.
So check it out, man. I just feel like, I'm going to go at women, especially because it's a show topic. I feel like a lot of them look for sympathy over empathy. Because empathy is basically saying, hey, understand where I'm at so you can help me build to a better place. You know what I mean? I'm willing to do the work. Sympathy is like, let me tell you what's going on, feel bad for me, and let me be where I'm at. Don't worry about it.
Man.
Something that you got to understand is there has to be a balance in the household between men and women. Like Veronica was saying about the man having their roles, women have their roles. Masculinity has been stripped from our community. So it's almost like women haven't been taught to appreciate it. And it's just going on through generations. So
right.
That's something that just as much as motherhood and everything like that is, like you say, put in the spotlight. If masculinity isn't encouraged, positive reinforcement in the household, you know what I'm saying? Women shouldn't be mystified. And I understand the ignorance and I understand why they're confused by it, but if you do not shore up those qualities in a man, those things become eroded and lost over time.
Man, Hustle. From the free throw line with a blindfold on, with no shoes, one shoe.
With no shoes.
One shoe. It just off verts. Damn, man. Shit. Hustle, man. He don't be bullshit, man. Thank you for the call. We appreciate it, bro.
No,
let me just
need you.
Let me just say this.
We need you. Women need you. Yeah. We need you.
Okay. All right. I believe that. But I'm going to say this. We not fucking with you if you don't show respect and appreciation. And respect and appreciation has to be centered around something that comes with more than just what we can do for you. I'm talking about financially. It has to come with, there's something in this man's spirit that I can pour into that can enliven him. Men will go above and beyond the call of duty when we are appreciated and respected. I'm going to tell you right now, you could turn a man into a wild animal if you show him disrespect in his house. If there's no appreciation for him in his house. Period. And you gonna get a disinterested partner, a disinterested parent, if you're not showing appreciation, approval, and respect for him. I'm just telling you. If what he does is some shit he's supposed to do, and what you doing is some shit that is valued more, men gonna feel some kind of way. I'm just saying. That's just what it is. They gonna feel some kind of way.
The real spiritual alpha men never gave me a dime.
Whoop. That's a whole nother jewel. Don't give that up. We're at 6:55. You know we have to go. Don't give that up yet. That's a whole nother show, Veronica. You wasn't supposed to let that one slip.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bobby. Oh, Bobby, no. Shit, Hank Hill right now. Anyway.
Hilarious. The funniest shit.
This shit is crazy. Let me get everybody's information. Veronica, where can they find you? How do they support everything you do?
You can do blackmastery.com because it's fun and you'll change your life. And then you can come to me if you want to build your business. I am helping people build.
That's it. She's helping people build. It's really that simple.
I'm helping people build like $10, $20, $100,000 a month businesses. Just email me at veronica@veronicconway.com and I can help you do that.
Hey, play this music right now as we're going out. This is our girl. Well, no. We're going to play this as we leave when we're off the air. This is my girl, Fallon Favor. She has a wonderful record. That little video you had was a little sultry.
It was a little sexy.
I was like,
okay. A little grown and sexy.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
She's still young enough to bear some children.
Oh, my God. I haven't been spoiled yet.
You can dump a few in there and raise some little Kobe's and little MJs.
Little Tariqs.
Where can they find you, Fallon?
Yes, if you just Google my name, Fallon Favors, you will find everything about me. My Instagram page, Twitter, YouTube. You can also type in my name as well, and you'll see all of my videos. My latest visual, Room 917, as Zoe previously mentioned, is up right now. And I do have an EP coming out in the next month, Around a Way Girl, as well. So look out for that.
Man, Fallon Favors. Whenever you can come through. Everybody likes your vibe.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Everybody fucking with you right now. The Scorpio energy was good up in this motherfucker right now.
Holla for $1.
Listen, I'm Zoe Williams. You got to support the GoFundMe page. This is how we keep the shows cracking. This is how we keep expensive ass Frank on payroll, because he will be like, no, Zoe, I can't do it. You ain't got enough money. Yeah, that's how it works. Please continue to support our movement. And on my way out, anybody wants a copy of The Relationship Dismount, if you go to my webpage, my website right now, IamZoeWilliams.com, click shop, get you a book. I'll mail it out to you tomorrow. Please do that for me right now. And my final word on this is even mamas get recognition on Father's Day. We up out of here. Deuces, my niggas.